Our second speaker today is Taylor Morgan. And his evaluators is Steve Myers. Are you ready to do his objectives, sir?
Taylor will be speaking from Project 3 in the Company Communicator manual, Get to the Point. The objectives are: select a speech topic and determine its general and specific purposes. Organize the speech in a manner that best achieves those purposes. Ensure the beginning, body, and conclusion reinforce the purposes. Project sincerity and conviction and control any nervousness you may feel. Strive not to use notes. The time is 5 to 7 minutes.
The word marathon is often used generically to refer to any foot race or task that takes a long time. But what is the origin of the marathon, and what is the significance of the race? Today, we just might have those questions answered by Taylor Morgan. The title of his speech, I Do It for the T-Shirt, Things You Probably Never Knew About the Marathon Foot Race. Taylor Morgan, I Do It for the T-Shirt.
Fellow Toastmasters, 2,500 years ago, the Greeks and the Persians were involved in a bit of a nasty affair. I don't think any of us were around for that. But the short version of it, the Persian Empire were trying to subjugate the Greeks. In the year 490 BC, the Battle of Marathon took place. There's a lot of history involved in that. The short version, the Greeks won. An Athenian soldier by the name of Phidippides ran the distance from the city of Marathon to Sparta, entered the town and approached. 90K coming! We were victorious! Does anybody know what happened to Phidippides? He died. He dropped dead from exhaustion after announcing the victory. The distance between the two cities, approximately 25 miles, and thus the marathon was born. The marathon itself is surrounded by a lot of folklore and legend. It's questionable how much of that story is true. But there's a lot of myth, there's a lot of legend, even a certain degree of romanticism that's associated with the race. I'm here this afternoon to tell you some of the facts about the race that maybe you didn't know. For example, by definition, a marathon is 26.2 miles. Runners are obsessive about this. Why? Because running 26 miles is hard. And to complete the distance, you've earned the right to be obsessive about that. The term gets thrown around a lot, generically. For instance, I have a casual running friend who came to me one day on a Monday and said, "Oh, I ran a marathon this weekend." Really? How far was it? Oh, it was 3 miles. No. So I had to explain the difference on it. Yes, runners are OCD about it, but again, if you've ran the distance, you've earned the right to be obsessive about it. Why is the distance specifically 26.2 miles? The first modern marathon took place at the first Olympics, the first modern Olympics. Anybody know what year that was? 1896. Located in where? Athens, Greece. Appropriately enough. There was no established distance at the time. The marathon varied anywhere between 22 miles and 26 miles. But it wasn't until 1908 that the distance was officially established. The 1908 Summer Olympics took place in London, England. The marathon ran from Windsor Castle and finished in Olympic Stadium, a distance 26 miles. However, the finish line was moved a distance of 385 yards further by request of the royal family. The reason for that? So that the race would finish in front of the viewing box of the Queen of England. Thus, the 0.2 miles. For whatever reason, the distance stuck. And it was some years later where it was officially established that a marathon distance would be 26.2 miles. Another interesting tradition that was born out of that was the tradition of marathon runners yelling, "God save the Queen," during the final mile of a marathon. If you ever happen to see that, that's where that comes from. Women historically were not allowed to participate in the race. This isn't ancient times that I'm talking about. The first women's marathon took place. Anybody have any idea? Anybody want to venture a guess?
In Boston.
Not Boston.
No.
I'm sorry, let me clarify that. The first Olympic women's
I
marathon
have no idea.
took place
I have no idea.
1984,
Whoa, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Wow.
That's not that long ago. This was the first women's marathon. The winner was a gal by the name of Eleanor Mendonça from Brazil. There were 55 runners. The fear was she would enter Olympic Stadium and the stadium would be empty. But the opposite happened. She came across the finish line to a full stadium, a roaring stadium. 1967, the Boston Marathon, the most prestigious of all marathons. A runner by the name of K.B. Switzer entered the race. The Boston Marathon, like all other marathons at the time, was for men only. At mile 3, Catherine B. Switzer, K.B. Switzer, was on the course, and the race director noticed that there was a female running his race. The race that year had a little bit of drama to it, all captured on video. The race director physically tried to remove her from the race. She had a bib number, she was an official entrant. At mile 3, the race director caught up with her, tried to pull the bib number off of her. 20-year-old college student from Syracuse University. Her boyfriend was running with her and threw a shoulder block into the race director, took him out, and 23 miles later, Catherine B. Switzer, became the first woman to complete a sanctioned marathon event. The marathon is a race that it's captured the imagination of runners and non-runners alike. There's no other race that has 2,500 years of history behind it. Some people think running that distance is crazy. I say crazy is a relative term. For instance, I have a friend who's actually running the Western States 100 this weekend. That's 100 miles on foot.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. There's absolutely nothing about that that sounds like fun to me. But whether you're a beginning runner or a veteran runner, a 5K runner, or an ultra runner, may the spirit of Philippides always be with you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Morgan. Mr. Timer, could I have the time?